On this episode, I'm going to be talking to you about card shows, some mistakes I've made, some tips and some tricks. Let's go! This is Dave, and welcome to the SVA Card Collectors Podcast. What is up? What is going on, everyone? Dave at SVA Card Collectors. We are going to be talking about card shows today. Yes, I'm not going to start talking about other nonsense that I don't know about, but I'll talk about card shows, which I don't know much about. No, I joke, I kid. So, I finally went to a card show a couple of weeks ago, made a ton of mistakes, and it's a lot of stuff that I knew, I just was lazy. And I'm going to share some of my biggest mistakes, some tips, some tricks. So let's buckle in. Ugh. What a stupid analogy. Unless you're in your car, you're not going to be buckling in. Yuck. Anyway, so first thing I'm going to say, now with COVID and their restrictions, this may be a little bit more difficult, but you're going to want to go there really early. You want to be like one of the first ones there, because that's where the best deals are. When I went, there was a 2-hour wait, and people got there real early, and this was a 30, 40, 50, table show. It was a pretty small show. But they haven't had one in Long Island, New York in a long time. It's actually the first one, so people were into it. So, but you should get there early. Now, on bigger shows that have, that are 2 or 3 days long, sometimes they have trading nights or trading days, or they have stuff that's happening in a different hotel that's close by, or in the same hotel, or something close by where there's a group of people getting together to trade cards and to buy or sell cards that have nothing to do with the show. You should pay attention to that as well, because a lot of people do their best stuff in those areas. So if you're talking on Instagram, on Facebook, on the Twitter, take a look at that stuff, see what people, if there is something being set up, because I would suggest you definitely go to that. Plus, it's good to mingle. Maybe you can meet a special someone, that 1 or 2 ladies that's there, or guy, if that's what you do. But anyway, so that's one of the things that I miss being in New York. They don't really have that. The only one that I have is up in upstate, is in Westchester. They really don't have trade nights. Now, there's people that are on the outside that are trading with each other in the show, but for the most part, they don't have like a separate trade night, unless it's like at a hotel or something like that. But again, I don't know in New York that they have that, but I know in other places, especially the big ones like Dallas and Miami, they're definitely going to have that. But when you get there, you'll be there. You get there early. You said, Dave, I'm here early. I'm the first one here. Now what do I do? Prior to getting there, you need to have a game plan. What cards are you looking for? What do you plan on doing with these cards? Know your pricing. Write it down on a piece of paper. Write it down on your phone. Make sure your phone is charged. Maybe you might need a phone charger. Bring a phone charger with you, or bring one where the ones that it's like the case that charges your phone automatically. You don't want to start checking prices on eBay and your phone doesn't work. That's why it's important. Maybe you don't get great internet. Maybe their Wi-Fi sucks. You don't want to be beholden to your phone. Do your research and make sure you have goals for these cards. Are you looking for cards to flip? Are you looking for cards to PC? Are you looking for short-term, long-term? Make sure you know that stuff. There's nothing worse than being in front of a guy, and this is what happened. I'm in front of a guy, and actually, on my second point, you're going to want to bring cards as well. Because if you're looking to buy cards, you may want to use a card that you have to trade, and they may want that card. Now, you don't want to be in the boat that I was in, where I'm looking every single card up because I have no idea what card, the price is at this time, because my brain is kaputs. You don't want to do that. You can go to a dollar store. You can get those small little stickers that you put it on there and put the price on there, so hey, this is the price that I want to sell it for, and you have a good idea going into a trade. Hey, this is what it's worth. I'm rushing, looking at pricing. I'm starting to sweat. I'm getting nervous now because the guy's just waiting there looking at me all stupid. And, you don't want to be, when you go in there, you want to exude a little confidence. If you're not exuding confidence, you're already going to be losing that battle of negotiation. You want to know what you're talking about. You don't want to be behind the 8 ball. So get there early. Make sure you bring cards that you A, want to sell or B, want to trade, and make sure you know the values. Also, know the cards that you're looking for. Make sure you know their values as well. You don't want to start looking it up. Let the dealer look it up. Let him be stupid. You don't want to be stupid. All right? Also, bring cash. Bring cash. People like cash. Cash is better. Depending on how much you're spending, if you're bringing 10, 20 grand, God bless. But, bring cash. Make sure you have money in PayPal or Venmo or Cash App. Make sure you do that because there's a lot more dealers that are taking that. So just make sure you have some money in there as well, or just a way to access it. So you got that covered. I actually put I had a whole bunch of steps and I combined them all together. I know I mentioned this, but make sure you have a goal for the card once you buy it. You don't want to buy the card and then later go, well, what do I want to do with this? That's just stupid. That's moronical. You want to know, hey, is this a PC card? Good. I'm going to keep it. I like it. It's shiny. It's fancy. It's good. Is it a modern card that the NBA playoffs are coming up, so you think that's going to be a good quick flip? Make sure you know, hey, I want to buy it at this, so I can sell it. I think it's going to get to this price, and stick to it, because that's the whole point. You want to flip that so you have money to buy whatever else you want to buy. Is this going to be long term? Maybe you want to buy vintage, or maybe you want to buy a modern card that you think is a long hold. Stick to it because you'll be able to negotiate different. If you're looking for a quick flip, you don't have that parameter of, well, I'll buy it higher because you are saying it's a quick flip. I don't think it's going to raise that much more, or I want it to raise to X amount. Let's just say you're buying it for $20 and you think it's going to be, $45, $50. The more you pay up, the more, the less you're going to make on that flip. Now, if it's a long-term hold for a modern card, then you don't mind paying the $5-10 extra bucks because you want that card and you're going to be holding it long-term. So it's okay. It's all right. Don't worry. And if it's a vintage card, you're just looking for good deals, compared to eBay. And so, well, I just said that. Stupid me. But you get my drift. All right. So make sure you know what the hell you're doing. All right. Because it'll help you with negotiating. It'll help you to know where to buy the card at. When you're there and you're talking to a dealer and you don't see anything that you like, ask him, hey, do you have anything else? Do you have anything in the back, in the front, on the side? Do you have something? Ask. Talk to the dealer because he may have stuff that he just didn't have time to put out, or he didn't think anybody wanted, or whatever 1,000 excuses. He just forgot. Always ask. And on a side note, with regards to the dealers, take their contact information, get their business card, find out what they're looking for, write it on the back of a card. Maybe you bring a book. If I would bring like a black book, like back in the movies that, where I keep the girl's number in my black book, like something small like that can fit in your pocket. Bring it with you. Put the dealer's name, what they're looking for. You want to build that Rolodex. So if you have a card and you're looking to sell a card, well, let me see if anybody I know that I've met, is looking for it. So you can just go to them instead of just putting it on eBay or Facebook and Instagram and hoping, somebody sees it and they buy it. You may be able to do better. You may be able to do worse. I don't know. But at least you have avenues to go with. And then once you build those relationships, they will start looking for you. Hey, I know you're looking for these type of cards. That's how you build relationships. That's how you build trust among dealers. Same thing with the people walking around. People walking around, they're not huffing and puffing like they used to. They're younger. They're savvier. They know what's going on. Start talking. Hey, I like that card. What are you into? What do you got this? You see a kid with a big black briefcase. That means he's the real deal. He knows what he's talking about. Or at least he has cards that he thinks, are worth it. So start talking people up. Again, you want to build that Rolodex. You want to, I want to make friends. But it's also a good way to build up your collection or sell cards that you don't want, because there's always somebody who's collecting a certain person that you have. God knows why. I know Dub Mentality on Twitter. He's a good follow. He likes to collect Ron Gant. I don't think Ron Gant's mom likes to collect Ron Gant, but I know if I was to ever see a Ron Gant card and I was like, man, I got to get rid of this card, I know I'm going to be, tweeting Dub Mentality going, hey, I got this stupid Ron Gant. You want it? And so it's just important to tell people what you're looking for and what you're about and make connections. That's huge in this industry. All right. So that's the main stuff that you need to do. Other stuff, if you're the first one in or one of the first people in a card show, see where the flow is, meaning where people are walking through, and do the opposite. Go the opposite way. As stupid as it sounds, you may be able to get deals that people weren't looking for or get there first before other people because they're just following the flow. They're following where everyone else is going. So if someone's going to the right and everyone's going to the right, go to the left. See what they got over there. Don't just, go where everyone else is going. Another thing on bigger shows, and if you're really spending some big bucks, you may want to be a dealer or buy a table. And the reason why I say that is a lot of big deals happen amongst the dealers themselves. So a lot of times people will be setting up and people start if there's two people, one person's setting up, the other one is walking around to the other dealers and trying to get cards, trying to get the better deals. So it might make sense to spend $100 or $50 or $25, however much money it is to get the table, and you get access early. So now you don't have to wait on those lines, and now you have a table. Maybe you bring a couple of cards to sell, but the whole point is you're not there for that. You're there to buy cards, and you're able to get there first. You're buying access to everyone else. So just beware that is another tip or trick. It's a little expensive trick, but if you're spending thousands of dollars, at these shows, then that is just a drop in the bucket, drop in the hat. But you're dropping something, a deuce, I don't know. So that is another thing that I've seen. I keep on seeing people make huge deals on the internets, on YouTube, and the shows haven't even started yet. And so that's why when you're there, make those connections, build that Rolodex of people. So you can already, when you go there, they'll know who you are. They'll know what you want. Or maybe they just know, you've built a rapport with them. All right, we get it, Dave. All right. So I think that's pretty much it, covering the main aspects of a card show. You may want to bring a loupe with you. You could buy it on Amazon or eBay. It's like $4 or $5, and basically it's a magnifying glass. It enables you, and it's crazy. I thought things that I thought were a 10, and I got this loupe, and I start looking at the corners, and they look all frayed, and I'm going, you'll be surprised. You should buy a loupe. It's very cheap, and I would check your PSA 9s and 10s, and there you may see why it's a 9. Where some people go, this is a 10. There's no way this should be a 9. How could this be? Use your loupe. It has a light on it. Look at your corners. Look at your edges. 8 times out of 10, you'll probably see something you go, oh crap, and it may deter you a lot more with regards to sending cards in, because any imperfection you're gonna go, oh, that's not a 10. So it's not something that you should be using constantly. I think it may be overused, and people go, oh, well, there's a little spec there. I don't think PSA or BGS or SGC or CGS or HGA, Jesus, are that crazy. They're a little crazy, but I think it's important too, especially if you're buying raw cards at card shows. I used to make fun of those guys. I don't know if I would have the balls to actually do it, to bring it and start looking at a card like that, because you look like a big dork. But you go, I don't care. I don't care if I look like a big dork. I'm trying to make bank, bro. So you got that. What else? Make sure you bring snacks. You're well hydrated. Make sure when you bring your cards, put them in a box or put them in a case. Make sure they're protected, and don't leave your bag around like a dope. Don't say, oh, can you take a look? Watch my stuff. Don't do that. That's gonna be gone. You don't want to do any of that. Making big, large cash deals. Don't be like these guys on Instagram. You're gonna get robbed. Someone's gonna beat you down, especially if you're in New York. It's gonna happen. I might do it to you. I may beat you down. So don't be, showing your money, showing your big ass cards. I'm not saying not to show people, but don't flash it all about and think who you are, because you look silly. And you're being made fun of behind your back. SVAcardcollectors.com. Head over there. I just wrote another article, more of a beginner's article if people, ask different type of refractors. So I wrote a couple of, pictures and some descriptions on that. So check that out. Also, check the podcast. I'm trying to do one every couple of weeks, one every week, maybe. I'm sporadic. I understand. I know. Also, we have the Facebook group, Clubhouse. I do Mondays at 9 o'clock. And that's it, guys. You guys know what to do. Buy some cards, go broke. Later.